Alright, what's going on, guys? Gdoggcasey here, and it's about time that I did an update video. I have been very late with this video, and I apologize for that. Over the course of the last month, maybe not a full month, maybe like 2 to 3 weeks, I've been, I wouldn't necessarily say struggling, but just needing a bit of a break from having a constant, heavy schedule. So I had vacation off of work. I actually had a full week, plus the weekends at the beginning of the week and after the week, so about 9 days total of time away from work. And I had a vacation like that earlier this year as well. And when I had that first vacation, I took the time to go really heavy into recording and just make sure I had a whole bunch of stuff ready for the channel. And it was good. But this time, I decided that I actually just wanted it to just hang out, not do anything productive, and just relax for the whole vacation. And honestly, I really enjoyed myself. I played a lot of games off camera and picked up a few new ones, and that kind of stuff. And it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed myself. But that said, within the week, I was already getting that itch to come back and start recording again. And I'm always going to have that itch, so I'm always going to be making videos as long as I have a computer that's capable of doing it. So, that said, that actually segues a little bit nicely into one thing I wanted to talk about, which was the game you see in the background, iRacing. So, iRacing is a game that for the past 20 weeks or 22 weeks, I have been streaming every race, every Friday night and every Saturday. And I've been having a blast doing it. It's been, it's had its ups and downs. I've had some really frustrating races. I've had some races that were a shit ton of fun. And every time I enjoy myself. But I've been having, I don't know, my computer's been struggling with streaming for the past couple weeks. And when I stream, I start blinking all over the map and causing problems for other drivers. And I don't want to do that. Also, I was dropping frames very consistently. And it was leaving the recording or the Twitch VOD very low quality. There was definitely like a ton of moments where it would stutter, and for me it's like I'm dropping down to like 50 frames per second, so I can notice it, and that is a hassle when you're driving, going from like 84 frames per second down to 50. You can feel it in the wheel and in the pedals even, and but it's still sort of tolerable. But it wasn't going to 50 frames per second in the video. It was dropping to like 2 frames per second. And for a solid, sometimes 30 seconds long, you would just miss a gigantic portion of whatever was just happening. So it just wasn't working. And I don't know why. I want to say I made 0 changes to my computer. I downloaded a couple more Steam games and stuff like that. I don't know what I did that caused this to start having problems, but I've decided to just not stream it. Now what I've done is I've tweaked the settings in OBS, and I've actually learned a few things about this program that I didn't realize. Namely, the big one was putting all the recording pressure on my GPU, on my graphics card, rather than the CPU or the processor. And actually, I've noticed an immense improvement, and I can't believe I didn't know about that for so long. It's actually been incredible. I can stream, or record at least, I can record much more graphic intensive games than I thought I would be able to, and iRacing has stopped dropping frames while downloading, or while recording. So it's gonna be here still. You're watching part of the footage in the background right now for a race you will see on the YouTube channel. In fact, it's already on the YouTube channel. So we're still gonna be bringing you 2 oval races every week. It's just gonna be uploaded from a local recording rather than exported from a Twitch VOD. So I'm sorry about that, but the Twitch stream wasn't garnering a crap ton of attention anyway, so, I tend to do better in offline recording anyway. So, that said, let me jump into the next thing. Kind of the elephant in the room a little bit, Final Fantasy XIV. I'm just going to come straight out and tell you that I have canceled my subscription and uninstalled the game. Not as fuck you, I'm never playing you again, I'm uninstalling you, but I really overdid it on the Stormblood launch, and I need a break from it. And I know that the pull to come back to that game will come back. It always does. It might take a few months, but it's definitely going to come back, and you can expect to see continued video coverage of that game in the distant future. I will bring it back at some point. It's almost a guarantee. Just for now, I've needed a break from that specific game. And that leads into sort of the biggest thing I wanted to talk about today. For those of you who've been around for quite a while, you already know, or you can probably tell, that I play a variety of games. And because of that, I really want this channel to be a variety video game channel. And I feel like occasionally I get sort of trapped in this Final Fantasy XIV world because those videos do the best on my channel, and I want to make the most people happy, and I want my channel to grow and to eventually be able to make a profit off of it. Absolutely. And I know that technically the best way for me to do that would be to continue just pumping out Final Fantasy XIV stuff, at least for now, because that's what does the best on my channel. But the truth of it is, I love Final Fantasy XIV. I think it's one of my favorite games I've ever played, but I don't want to be tied down to just one game, or even just two. I'm a variety gamer at heart. I play so many different types of games. I like games from so many different types of genres, and I want this channel to showcase that more than just focus on just one game. So, with that said, I've decided to make some more changes. I always make these changes, but I want to make some more. And just to try to adjust the channel a little bit to fit my liking a little bit more, and just see how it does. We're gonna test this out for at least a month, maybe 2 months, and see how it goes. It's going to lower my workload while also increasing the amounts of types of videos you guys see on this channel. So, without further ado, let me unleash the new schedule on you and show you some footage from some of the games that you'll be seeing on the channel going forward. Now, on Sundays, we're going to be uploading Path of Exile. Path of Exile is an action RPG, very similar to Diablo 2, more so than Diablo 3, but still, action RPGs share very similar qualities. Path of Exile is a free-to-play game on Steam, and it just went through a major update up to its 3.0 expansion, and it's changed pretty drastically. The actual core gameplay is very similar, but they doubled the length of the campaign. They took away the the tiered difficulty system that they had, where you would go through on normal and then on cruel and then on merciless or whatever. It's kind of like how Diablo is now, where you just go through the entire campaign and then just do end game stuff once you get to the end. And they've rebalanced a whole bunch of skills and everything. And it's a game that I've always had a big interest in. And I have tried to do it on the channel before, but it wasn't when I was really in such a stable lifestyle yet. So it didn't really survive. But I want to bring it back, and I want to show you guys this game, and I want to try to get to end game and explore it. It's going to take a while because we're only releasing one video per week. But still, it's just what I want to do right now. The goal with all of these series is to gauge the viewer interaction and the views and everything like that, and see how they do after about a month or two, and then we'll start making some switches. Maybe some games I'll realize, I'm actually not having as much fun with this as I thought, so let's swap it out for something else. But you'll start to get the pattern here as we go along. So anyway, Sundays, we're going to be uploading Path of Exile, and if you guys have any interest in action RPGs or this game specifically, make sure you check those out on Sunday. Now, this one is potentially controversial. On Mondays, we're going to be playing World of Warcraft. So I feel like that shitty ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend who dumps Final Fantasy XIV and then almost right away jumps onto World of Warcraft, This one is in a similar vein. Well, it's a different type of game than Path of Exile, obviously, but in a similar vein, I just want to level a character up as far as I can handle it, as far as I am having fun, and just sort of document the process. I'm not following the story. I'm skipping through. I'm not speed running, but I'm not reading all the quests or anything either. I'm just going to level up at a pace that I feel comfortable with, which is typically pretty quickly, but maybe not as fast as the pros and stuff like that. But I just want to go through this game and experience leveling up a warrior again from level 1 with my orc, and seeing if we can get to end game and maybe start gearing our character up a bit. I'm definitely not going to be doing raids with guilds or anything like that, but I do know that they've implemented looking for raid groups, which is something that I might do, maybe. We are also going to be a protection warrior, so if and when we do any dungeons, we will be tanking them. So you can see tanking from a World of Warcraft perspective and level up this character and just, just try to enjoy ourselves with it. This one is another one that, if successful, will have probably hundreds of episodes and will take a very long time, but it's supposed to be a relaxing series where we just chill back, play some WoW, level up a character, and try to do some of the end game stuff. So that's it. World of Warcraft on Mondays, and you can just hang out with me while I level up this character. Okay, on to Tuesdays. Half-Life 2 is not coming out. We are finishing Half-Life 2. I am guaranteeing this to you. This game is a lot of fun, but I've taken a very long break from it since that first vacation I was talking about. But I want to get to the end of it, and I will continue to upload Half-Life 2 on Tuesdays. So we will continue through this story, and we will get to the end eventually, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for Half-Life 2 on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, we are introducing a new type of game. This game is a pretty difficult platformer game called The End is Nigh. It is created by the same people who made Binding of Isaac and Super Meat Boy, and you could tell almost instantly if you've played any of those games before. As soon as you start playing this game, you just know it's made by the same people. It's got incredibly tight controls, some incredibly difficult platforming sections, and I want to see how far in this game I can get. In the interest of being a variety YouTuber, so far I've shown you action RPG, MMORPG, and FPS story-based shooter. Now we're doing the somewhat hardcore platformer style game, and we're going to see how far we can make it. This game is incredibly well made, and it's a great place to start with the platforming genre on my channel. So we're bringing it in, and we're gonna try to get as far as we can, just like all these other games. This one, I can almost guarantee you, is going to have parts to it that I'm just not going to be physically capable of beating, because some of them are just that damn hard. But my goal, at least at the start, is to give everything the old college try and try to get as far as I can to the best of my ability. It's a really good game. It's got a really good soundtrack. It's got heart-pumping platforming. So if you like that kind of thing, stop by on Wednesdays when we will be uploading The End is Nigh. Okay, on to Thursdays. Pyre is another game that I've started recently, and I am definitely finishing this game. This game just makes me smile with every episode. The storytelling, the writing, the characters, I love them so much. I just recorded some new episodes the other day and met some characters that I just couldn't help but just love right away. And it's just one of those games that I'm definitely finishing it. So we are putting this game on Thursday, and you can stop by there if you want to see the continuation of this story, because it's a lot of fun, and I think I still have quite a ways to go. So it's going to be a fun journey. Okay, on to Friday. Yeah, Friday. We are going to be playing Pillars of Eternity. Now, we've got the action RPG, we've got the MMORPG, we've got the first-person story-based shooter, we've got the heart-pumping, difficult platformer game, we've got the almost entirely story-based, almost visual novel, 3-on-3 basketball game. And now we're coming almost full circle to a not turn-based, a real-time RPG with pause tactics, where you pause, give your characters orders, and watch them play it out. It could be incredibly difficult. It's incredibly in-depth in terms of its RPG systems, and there's a lot of reading and a lot of background storytelling going on here that we're going to be delving into. This one, probably out of all 7 that I'm showing you today, is the one that it's the one that maybe makes me a little more nervous that most people won't like. Because it's pretty niche, it's like hardcore RPG, lots of reading, lots of pausing and character management and stuff like that. But honestly, I love games like this, and like I said, in the interest of being a variety YouTuber, this one fits the bill perfectly. It's gonna fit in as its own type of game, and it's still from a genre that I really like, from a company that I really like. And if this game turns out to be successful on the channel, there are plenty more we can back it up with. Icewind Dale, Baldur's Gate, Dragon Age, a whole bunch of different games like this that we can bring to the table that I already own and would be happy to record. So it's kind of a test for more of a CRPG style game, and I'm hoping it does well, because if it does, it's going to give me an excuse to play more and more of these games. But it's the one that I'm the most reserved about, and the one I think might do the worst, but we'll see. That said, let's move on to the final game on Saturdays. It's going to be none other than Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 is a game that needs no introduction. Everybody knows about this game. It's been out for quite a while. Some say it's the best of the three. Some say Dark Souls 1 can never be surpassed, but one thing you can't deny is that Dark Souls 3 runs much better on the PC than Dark Souls 1 does, and it looks a lot nicer. It runs smoother. It's going to do very well for I'm going to say for the first game like this on my channel, but that's not true. I've done Dark Souls 2 on the channel in the past as well, and I think I dabbled in Dark Souls 1, but regardless, Dark Souls 3 is just one of those games when I was trying to round it out, trying to figure out, hey, which game do I actually want to play? Looking through my Steam list, and I saw Dark Souls 3 there, and I was like, yeah, this game, we have to do it. So, we're doing it. So, that is going to pretty much round out this video. Just one more thing I want to note on, though. There are a couple series that some of you guys might have expected to see here, namely Final Fantasy VII, okay? Let me give a brief explanation of what happened with Final Fantasy VII. I got a little bit lazy, and I forgot to go onto Twitch and chop up a bunch of videos. And it was too late. I lost access to the VOD, and I lost like 3 hours of gameplay. I tried to tell myself that I wouldn't let that bother me, but it does bother me. Every time I was about to like go to stream it again, I was like, oh man, we're missing like 3 hours of gameplay here, and I'm gonna have to explain all that, and it just feels messy. So as of right now, I feel like that game, I'm gonna put it on the back shelf. We may or may not revisit it later, depending on what people say, but that's just the status of that game right now. The other one is Out of the Park Baseball. This one, I think I might be able to work back into the schedule, but for the first couple weeks, I'm gonna lay off of it, because I want these games to take off first. And I want to make sure I can settle into a nice schedule with these games. So Out of the Park Baseball will be back later, probably. We'll see how it goes. So, and finally, iRacing. As I explained at the beginning of the series, we're still going to be doing iRacing videos on Saturday and Sunday right now for the rest of the NIS season. In the background, during some of my free time, I am practicing road courses pretty heavily, and I plan to bring some road racing to you guys. I'm really hoping I can get up to B-class license on the road series, so that before the end of next season, so I can bring you guys some IMSA with the Ford GT 2017. This car is beautiful, and I can't wait to make videos with it. And also Skip Barber, gonna bring that one back and try to compete at a somewhat high level in Skip Barber, and we'll see how well we can do. Because it's gonna be a little while. Once the NIS season finishes, it's gonna be almost half a year until it comes back again, so we'll have to wait. So we're gonna fill it in with some road racing for sure. Alright guys, that's going to do it. This has been a longer episode, but I think you guys, or I think I needed it, to be honest. I needed to go in depth and explain why I've been a little bit lackluster on the channel. We are very close to 1,000 subs. We'll most likely be crossing that next month, and I am incredibly excited for that, and I can't wait. So guys, thank you so much for sticking around. I apologize for the hiatuses I've taken recently, but we're coming back strong, and we're hoping to be reborn, basically, as a permanent variety YouTuber, because that's really what I want to be. Okay, guys, thank you so much. As always, don't forget to hit the like button and leave your comments down below if you have anything to say to me. I read all the comments, and I appreciate all of them, so thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.